loves, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about why I am vegan, as you can tell by the title. Now this is a question that I get asked a lot, so I'm just going to give you guys a few breakdowns on this. This is also a video collaboration with the Thoughtful brand, so I will be showing you a two-piece jewelry set that they have sent me. I'm just going to go ahead and throw a disclaimer out there. I know that we all have different beliefs. These are just my personal reasons on why I'm vegan. I'm not in any way, shape, or form forcing you to go vegan or saying that you need to go vegan. These are just my personal reasons. I get asked this question a lot, so again, these are just my personal opinions on everything, so I just wanted to throw that out there. But that is everything I have to say for now. Let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so I think the most fair way for me to start off this video is to give you guys a little bit of background on how I went vegan. So I've been vegan now for 3 years and my entire family is vegan. That's another question that I get asked a lot. If my husband's vegan and my toddler are vegan. I first came across veganism when I first started my YouTube channel. So when I first started my channel, I focused a lot on vlogging and cooking. If you guys are OGs, you'll remember that I made recipes maybe like once a week. So while I was doing a little research on what other people were making, I came across this vegan video. So it was by CRUELTY, who's now one of my favorite YouTubers of all times, and she put a what I eat in a day video. And I don't know if you guys have ever watched what I eat in a day videos, but once you find one, they all start popping up, and I was just on the computer watching these videos for hours, and I couldn't believe that people were eating plant-based stuff and it looked so good. It was so interesting to me. So after I saw these videos, I started doing a little bit of research on if it would be healthy for any human being to survive off of a vegan diet, which sounds kind of funny now because I know all of the backstory and all the information on that. So I did a lot of research. After about a few days and about a week of research, I decided that this is something that I wanted to do for myself and for my family, and I wanted to present this information over to my husband, which I was really nervous about because my husband is the kind of guy who grew off of meat, potatoes, just like I did when I grew up. I had meat pretty much every single meal, so I was really nervous on what he was gonna say. And I remember talking to him and I was like, hey, I came across these videos, I am coming across something called vegan, and I just want to know your thoughts and what you think. And I am not kidding you, I had like all my information on the table, like ready and set to go, and the only question that my husband asked me is this going to be a more expensive cost, or if it's going to help us save money, or where is this going to go? And I told him, I said, if anything, it's going to help us save money. And he was like, I'm in. Like, he didn't even care about the research that I did or anything like that. He was just like, I'm in, let's do it. So I was super blessed and grateful that my husband was so supportive on this. I remember actually that same night after I did go over research, because I was like, hold on, I like spent weeks doing research or whatever, I'm gonna like present this to you, you have to hear me out. So that same night, I wasn't expecting to go vegan the next day, but he went through our fridge and he starts throwing out like all these, like we had just gone grocery shopping, so he starts throwing out like all the chicken, all the meat, all the eggs, all the milk, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, you said you wanted to do this, right? And I was like, well, yeah. And he's like, so let's do it. So again, he was super supportive on that, and I am just super grateful that he was 100% supportive. So back to the question on why I'm vegan, I have 3 of my top reasons on why I'm vegan. So when I first did my research, I kind of felt like my number 1 reason at the time was for health, but I've now switched them around a little bit. So my number 1 reason would be for the animals, number 2 would be for my health, and number 3 would be for the environment. I'm just going to break these down, and I'm going to try and sound non-preachy as much as possible, because this is something that I'm very passionate about. I don't want to, again, offend anyone, or I don't want to, cause any type of arguments or anything like that in the comment section. I want this to be very peaceful. I'm just going to try and throw facts out there, and I will list all of the information on where I got this, documentaries, and anything that you guys may want to follow up on, just to make sure that everything is factual and can be proven. Okay, so like I just mentioned, my number 1 reason is for animals, and I'm just going to read this quote that I have literally framed in my kitchen. So this is what it looks like. If you guys have seen any of my what I eat in a day videos, you may see this, and I throw this quote in there all the time because it's actually one of my favorites. And it just says, veganism is not about giving anything up or losing anything. It is about the peace within yourself that comes from embracing nonviolence and refusing to participate in the exploitation of the vulnerable. So this just speaks high volumes to me, and this is like my whole reason on why I'm vegan. I feel like this is such an amazing quote. Now, of course, I'm not going to put any disgusting clips of like animals and all of that, because I feel like we already know what goes behind closed doors. There's also another quote, and I can't think of who this is by, so this is kind of sucky, but it was like, if all slaughterhouses were made with glass walls, then we would all be vegetarian. And I feel like that's just the humane part of us that wants to care about animals being abused and mistreated. And there's a lot of stuff that we don't see and that we don't know. Again, when I first started, I didn't even want to watch any of that kind of stuff because number one, I felt really guilty, and I was like, I don't want to see what I was supporting. That's just, I can't do it. It's gonna hurt me so much. And I'm the type of person where like I see something hurting and I have such a rough past that I can put myself in their shoes, and I just can't handle it. So there's a lot of also confusion and questions on like dairy and eggs, for example. So some people think that like there's no way that they can be harmed just by milking them. But again, there's so much information on that. Actually, I'm gonna list it's really graphic, but it's extremely helpful. When I first went vegan and I saw this, I was like, oh my god, it's so informative. You'll learn what kind of things are in milk, which are really freaking disgusting. It's called Dairy is Scary. I'll link the video down below if you guys want to check that out. But for myself, for example, and for any moms out there, I look at it as breastfeeding. So when I started to breastfeed Luca, I had a little bit of hard times and I started to bleed, and it hurts really, really bad. So if you're a breastfeeding mom, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about because it's like too much pressure at some point. So when I think about dairy cows being hooked up to a machine that's constantly pumping, they start to get really bad infections, and there's a lot of blood that's involved with that. I'm trying not to get like all teary because I'm like looking or thinking of the graphics. So yeah, it's just, there's no reason that we should be hurting animals. There's no reason whatsoever. There's no humane way to kill. And that's just what my main point is there. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into detail with that. If you guys want to look into that or watch any of that, I do recommend that you do, because it's hard to watch, but it's the raw truth. My second reason is for health reasons. So right before I decided to go vegan, I had just given birth to my son, and I had gained a lot of weight. Veganism is not all about losing weight, so don't think that's where I'm going with that. Even though you will lose a lot of weight, vegans are usually about 10 to 20 pounds lighter than a meat eater. It's not my main reason, but just to throw that out there. Whenever I gave birth, I had a lot of weight, I had a lot of acne, and I was in really bad shape. Like, I was just like, I need to make a change, so that kind of helped motivated me when I was looking into veganism. But I also saw a lot of scientific facts on the nutrition of a vegan diet. So one of these facts is a whole food plant-based diet can help prevent, reduce, and even treat 14 out of the 15 leading causes of death. It's also including our top 3 killers. So according to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, vegans are less likely to develop heart disease, cancer, diabetes, or high blood pressure than meat eaters. Vegans get all the nutrients they need to be healthy, such as plant, protein, fiber, and minerals, without all the nasty stuff in the meat that slows you down and makes you sick, such as cholesterol and saturated animal fat. So when I was first doing my research on veganism, I thought about vegetarians and how healthy they may be, but I always thought the vegans were always too unhealthy, or that was just not an option, because in my mind at the time, I'm like, that's giving up too much, and maybe there's like malnutrition involved in that, which now is completely false, as you guys have just heard from facts. But I just wanted to wrap that up really quick. So my last reason is for the environment and the planet. Consuming meat is actually one of the worst things that you can do for the earth. So if some of you guys don't know, animal agriculture is a leading cause of environmental destruction. This includes things like CO2, deforestation, and depopulation within our earth. To break that down into a little bit more facts for you, I want to let you guys know that the animal agriculture does consume at least 1/3 of our fresh water, and it occupies at least 45% of our land, which kind of ties into depopulation. For example, deforestation comes with that when you need to knock down trees and make room for animal agriculture. There's also when it comes to fishing. So for example, I'm sure you guys know there are less fish in the sea, and it's just from overfishing. One thing that kind of helps me paint the picture on overfishing is whenever people are fishing, they use really big nets, obviously because they're trying to get more fish to sell. So for example, if a fisher is using a really big net and he's just kind of throwing it into the water, there's a big chance that he's going to catch things like sea turtles, dolphins, sharks. Because they're taking up so many fish, they're also taking what they don't need, and by the time that they bring it up, these animals are already dead. So by buying seafood, by buying anything like that, it's kind of like you're supporting depopulation, which is one thing that we definitely don't need. So that's a breakdown of the 3 reasons on why I'm vegan. I hope that information and all the facts that I've given you is a little bit of insight on why I'm vegan, and I hope that maybe it encourages you to look into veganism and do your own research. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a video collaboration with the Thoughtful brand. So the Thoughtful brand is a vegan startup with a mission of bringing meaning to our community's everyday purchases. They do this while improving lives, supporting vegan nonprofits like SoFlo in South Florida, where this company is from, and they also do this by just spreading the overall message on veganism. I also want to let you guys know that all of these products are eco-friendly, sustainable, made with high quality, and made with fair working practices. So this is the jewelry set that they sent me. So this is the little box that it came in, and I think it's so cute. It has their little logo here, which is nice, clean, crisp, and minimal. And then when you open up the box, you'll see the 2-piece jewelry set. So this 2-piece jewelry set comes with a beautifully crafted necklace that you see here that just reads the word vegan, and then you see this adorable, cute, adjustable ring with the V symbol for veganism on it. And then I also just wanted to give you guys a close-up on what the set looks like when I have it on. So I think that this jewelry set is completely adorable, and it's a conversation starter. So there's a lot of people that are still learning what veganism is, and if you're wearing something like this, someone's going to look at your necklace, and it's your chance to tell your story and to inform people and to possibly change someone's life for the better. So I think this is such a cool way to spread the message on veganism. Like I mentioned earlier, some of the profits go to vegan nonprofits. Actually, this summer they're doing a 50% donation of the profits will go to the SoFlo community in South Florida. So if you guys want to make a difference and have an impact on the world just by doing something as small as purchasing this beautiful set, I will make sure I leave the link for it in the description down below. And they have also given me a discount code, which I will put here for you guys. So you guys get discounts, you're helping support a vegan nonprofit and helping spread the word on veganism. I think there's no reason why you shouldn't at least look into this jewelry set. And I personally just want to thank the Thoughtful brand. I think what you guys are doing as a company is amazing, and of course I 100% support it. But anyways guys, that is the end of this video. Like I mentioned, I hope that you did gain a lot of insight and knowledge on a vegan diet, and it's more than a vegan diet. Actually, it's more of a lifestyle. There's a whole bunch of different things that go into that. So again, I hope that I have encouraged you to look into it. And if you have any questions on switching over to a vegan lifestyle, send me a message or leave me a comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. And as always, thank you guys so much for being so supportive in all of my videos. I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.